coming at you from South by Southwest.
It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.
Long live art.
Live music at the Sundance Music Cafe.
You're watching Pepsi Presents Music at thepalestra.com.
Welcome to Pepsi Presents Music at thepalestra.com. I'm Julie Garcia. Coming up on tonight's show, The Actual dropped names like Scott Weiland and Slash. Danny Fuchs counters with Bono and Janis Joplin. Howie Schnell asks, so you want to be a club owner and concert promoter? Be careful what you wish for. And Twin Cam figured their frontman shouldn't be in the back.
I was never really into having him in the back.
Yeah.
You know, I always felt like I needed him up front to move around, do his little funny, gestures, playing a guitar like that.
Welcome back to Music at thepalestra.com. I'm Julie Garcia. Los Angeles pop punk band The Actual rode through Columbus this summer for a show at the Basement. Before hitting the stage, they took some time to chat up their new album In Stitches, a record produced by Velvet Revolver frontman Scott Weiland.
It was awesome, actually. We started the record with his partner, then Scott got wind of it, really liked it, so came in and did his thing, which was, it's working with a living legend, He's just got endless experience and really helped us out a lot. It's great.
The former Stone Temple Pilots frontman, Weiland, also took The Actual out on the road with Velvet Revolver. Hard to believe, but they have no wild tales about touring with Weiland and the Velvet Revolver guitar player, Slash.
We have tons of stories, but nothing that you guys would think. They're just extremely nice, all of them. My favorite story is that once Slash asked me how he did, and I was like, "You're Slash." But they're all incredibly nice, and we got to play in front of 2,000 people every night, so we were ecstatic.
We're not through name dropping. Frontman Max Bernstein is the son of two famous writers.
His dad's Carl Bernstein of Woodward and Bernstein, Watergate?
Right.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
And then his mom's Nora Ephron. She's written some books and some movies and stuff.
I wasn't aware.
It's funny, he's met him a few times.
Yeah.
I guess he didn't know.
But I didn't know that they were famous.
Yeah, they're great. They're awesome supporters of the band, and they do everything they can for us. They're really awesome.
Making a name for themselves are The Actual. Here they are, recorded live at the Basement.
This is the worst day of my life. Do you want to come over? It's unlucky to be superstitious. It's unlucky to hope for the best. It's not funny, but you leave me in stitches. It's not funny, we're out of luck nonetheless, I guess. SOS, rain, rain on my parade. I've got lemons, but not a drop of lemonade. Well, this is the worst day of my life. Do you want to come over? This is the worst day of my life. Do you want to come over? Please come over and make it alright. It's not pretty, my current condition. It's not pretty, the state of affairs, yeah. So come and give me a second opinion. Yeah, what are you thinking? Come and give me a good kick down the stairs, yeah. I guess it's back to solitaire. Bad luck always comes in threes. I've got to, so come around and finish me. And this is the worst day of my life. Do you want to come over? This is the worst day of my life. Do you want to come over? Please come over and make it alright. This is the worst day of my life. What did I do to deserve this? This is the worst day of my life. You know it might have been worth it. God make it perfect. This is the worst day of my life. Do you wanna come over? Please come over.
Check out The Actual for yourself and hear stuff from In Stitches at theactualsounds.com. Coming up on music at thepalestra.com, blues singer Dana Fuchs on stage and on screen.
Want some good music at thepalestra.com.
Welcome back to music at thepalestra.com. I'm Julie Garcia. The story of New York blues singer Dana Fuchs would make a great movie. Don't write the script just yet, though, because scenes keep getting added. The first part of the film would be a classic American tale. Young girl leaves her native Florida as a teen, ends up in New York, broke with only her talent and guts to get her by. Singing at local blues jams led her to local guitar slinger John Diamond.
I went into this little bar one night, which is where I met my guitarist, and he was on stage playing with this blues singer, this big old black Cherokee Indian guy, and I was just blown away. Like I had never seen or heard anything like it. And so I told him on break I was a singer, and he asked if I wanted to get up and sing his song. They were doing all blues, and he said Stormy Monday, which in the back of my mind I sort of knew, and I got up to sing it. It was terrible, but later on he's like, you have a great voice, but you should really start to listen to all of the artists that you love, the Stones, Zeppelin, all of that, and find out who influenced them.
The Dana Fuchs Band was born and was soon packing clubs all over New York with marathon sets of classic blues. Despite their success, Dana had a hunger to write and perform her own material.
I have to write my own songs. I have to tell my own stories. I love this music, but I wasn't on Tobacco Road, and I wasn't in the cotton fields. That's like a lot of those lyrics, you know? So we started writing our own stuff.
Producers of the off-Broadway show Love Janis took notice. After hearing her sing, they decided they had found their Janis Joplin.
When I first started performing, I hadn't really listened to a lot of Janis Joplin, but I was always compared to her. And then I figured out why. When I did the show, I realized we were both influenced by exactly the same people. But doing that show was just, took my singing to a whole other level.
Which naturally leads to Dana playing Sadie the blues singer in the new Julie Taymor film, Across the Universe.
Most of my performances in the film are on stage doing what I do anyway. And so it just felt like me in a lot of ways. I mean, she's a little harder. Julie Taymor said to me, Julie actually created the part for me based on what she knew about me. So, but when we started to rehearse, she's like, okay, you're Sadie, but just lose your nicer side a little bit. So she's a little harder in the film.
U2's Bono has a prominent role in the film, too.
Working with Bono was pretty amazing because the guy was in the middle of a world tour, fighting world hunger, relieving third world countries of their debt, you know, and here he comes on set just like anybody. He had to get there at 8:30 in the morning. He had to hang out for 5 hours on the roof of a bus while camera changes happened and so on. And he was just this really amazingly cool guy. There was just, you know, no pretenses. He wasn't this big rock star, and you learn from that, you know, no matter how far you get or how far you go, your work ethic in this industry is so important. He could have strolled in like I'm the rock star, been late, but he worked his off, and he was so entertaining and just a nice guy.
Movies and off-Broadway are great, but Dana Fuchs is a singer first. From her DVD Live from NYC, here's the Dana Fuchs Band.
Sitting with the light left behind that night, frozen under red lights sinking. chewing on the lies, choking on the lies, strangled in your wishful thinking. Who brought you to the moon just to take you down so soon, and showed you all the stars and told you never reach that far. How could I bleed more from a heart that's been forsaken? Tell me, why should I bleed more in the ocean that I bathe in? You were sipping from the wound, kicking from all room, drowning in your Red Sea, crying, barely breathing on your own, not when you're alone, living just to keep from dying. You brought me to the moon just to take me down so soon. You showed me all the stars and told me never reach that far. How could I bleed more from a heart that's been forsaken? Tell me, why should I bleed more in the ocean that I bathe in? Come on. Who brought you to the moon just to take you down so soon? Oh, baby, who showed you every star and told you never reach that far? How could I bleed more from a heart that's been forsaken? Tell me, why should I bleed more in the ocean that I bathe in? Honey, why should I bleed more? Tell me, why should I bleed more? Baby, why should I bleed more?
You can catch Dana Fuchs as Sadie this fall in the film Across the Universe. Her DVD Live from NYC is out now. Find out more at danafuchsband.com. Coming up on Music at thepalestra.com, New York music promoter and club owner Howie Schnell grapples with a brave new music industry.
You have companies like Live Nation and AEG, major companies that are now doing shows at this level, which was never happened in the past.
At thepalestra.com.
Welcome back to Music at thepalestra.com. I'm Julie Garcia. Part of our mission here is to keep up with the ever-changing music industry landscape. The major labels are losing money, and yet spend 5 minutes on MySpace and you realize there are more bands than ever. Howie Schnell is part owner of the New York club, The Lion's Den, and he books shows in clubs all over the city. There's still money to be made in live music after all, and the big companies are moving into his territory.
It's gotten so competitive because you have companies like Live Nation and AEG, major companies that are now doing shows at this level, which was never happened in the past. You know, the big promoters in town, the smallest thing they would ever look at was like at an Irving Plaza, which holds 1,100 people. It never made sense for them on a financial level to do anything less than that.
Schnell has to compete with the real estate business too. Clubs are closing and high-end condos and offices are taking their place.
A lot of the good venues in town, Wetlands, Tribeca Rock Club, Coda, which is a venue that we used to book. CBGB's closed recently.
It's Economics 101. Fewer venues, more bands. The artists have to be on the ball.
I think it's the acts that are really working hard for themselves, and they'll find a way, and they found a way before the internet. You know, the internet maybe simplifies things for them, but I still think, you know, it takes good music too, but I think it also takes either the artist or someone working with the artist, you know, really being proactive about, you know, about making a name for that act, you know, and really getting their music out there.
The ones that are doing the work and have the talent are finding success though.
There was an act playing in the main space that night called Mickey Avalon. Yeah. And I'd never heard of him. Yeah. And everyone was singing all the words. Yeah. Everybody that we came in contact with said, "I'm with Mickey." You know? And so they felt like they had this connection with him through MySpace. Right. I think that's how he really broke out. It was through MySpace. Right. And that's just an incredible phenomenon. The guy's got a tour bus outside, a sold-out show, apparently was doing sellout business on his whole tour. And I just think that's incredible. You know, with no radio, very little press. Right. You know, that's something you never would have seen just a few years ago.
Next time you're in New York, visit the newly renovated Lion's Den. Check them out online at cegmusic.com/Lion's Den. Coming up on music@thepalestra.com, Twin Cam, our Pepsi Local Artist of the Week. Welcome back to music@thepalestra.com. I'm Julie Garcia. Nick Jones recently hung out with Twin Cam at their Grandview practice space. They're our Pepsi Local Artist of the Week. Nick?
Thanks, Jules. Count it off 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the evolution of Columbus power pop band Twin Cam. We caught up with the guys here at their Grandview practice space.
Take note, 'cause all the good girls don't.
The band began in 1997 as a two-piece.
We started out as a two-piece, and back then it was like local H. You know, so I would set up a bass amp and a guitar amp, try to be as beefy and bassy and as loud as we could be. And, you know, Mike sang the songs just because I was jumping all over the place during that time.
Adding Chad Schuldasek on bass in 2000 led the trio to bigger things.
We made it into the Warped Tour a couple years in 01, 02, toured out to New York City, and had a lot of success with it, but we're also kind of feeling the songs we were writing and where we wanted to go. It was really kind of starting to be a roadblock.
A rarity in rock and roll, the band was fronted by the guy in the back. Mike Sammons did the singing from behind the drum kit for most of Twin Cam's history.
I liked what we did, but I was never really into having him in the back. Yeah. You know, I always felt like I needed him up front to move around, do his little funny, you know, gestures, you know, playing a guitar like that, you know, that kind of stuff.
We definitely hit that wall at one point, though, where we were kind of like, maybe this isn't the right, maybe we've gone as far as we can with this lineup. You know, it's always kind of awkward, especially in the local band circuit. I mean, playing the bars we're at, stages aren't really set up for a drummer being the lead singer. I mean, you know, I was always in the back. It always ended up looking like some sort of puppet show up front with Mark and Chad jumping around.
Sammons is out front singing and playing guitar now that the band added Matt Cross.
Came down to me in the audition and a drum machine. So personality-wise, I think I had the drum machine beat, but timing-wise, it had me beat. So they went with me.
Recorded live for our Palestra cameras, here's Twin Cam and One Last Radio.
It's been 10 years since you left me. I can't get over you lately. I've been a broken needle. Yeah, it's all worn out. The hi-fi speakers are all blown out. A pirate radio station blasting bootleg songs from your basement.
Twin Cam are playing the Midpoint Music Festival in Cincinnati on September 29th and have plans to hit the studio later this year with an album to be released in 2008. Find out more at Twin Cam's MySpace page. Back to you, Jules.
Thanks, Nick. That does it for this week's edition of Pepsi Presents Music at thepalestra.com. For Nick Jones, I'm Julie Garcia. Be sure to join us next week.
I will never